All right, y'all. So I'm going to read First Corinthians 1, verse 17. Then I'm going to go down, and I think it's 26 through 31. So it says, God didn't send me out to collect a following for myself, but to preach the message of what he has done. Collecting a following for him, and he didn't send me to do it with a lot of fancy theatrics of my own. Least the powerful action of the center, Christ on the cross, be trivialized into mere words. God didn't send us out here to collect following. God didn't send us out here to do it in our own strength. Because when you do it in your own strength, you've definitely lost your way. When God compels us to work for him and God is showing us who we are, God gets the glory. Nothing more, nothing less. Like the messages that we give of what he has done in our lives is saying that we didn't do this in our own strength. God made me over. God made me more than a conqueror. God said I was the head and the tail, and this is my testimony of what it looks like. This is my testimony of what he has done, because I know what I was when I was lost. I know where I came from and how I was like, and this version of me is becoming something so new. I'm literally fighting in battle with myself to make sure that I do not lose this version, because God is healing me. God is working on me. He's taking me through a process. And guess what? I want people to know who God is. I want people to see the glory of him, like with nothing. Like when God says, when you gotta lose it all, you gotta lose it all. But so many people are scared to lose it all because of what they have right now. Oh, I'm not gonna follow God because, and that's why the path to walking with God and obeying God. Yes, it's easy to say I believe in God, God's with me, but yet those that truly obey in God, yeah, just because you believe in him don't mean anything. Just because you try to do the good deeds and do all that, that means nothing. Because you can't even let go of yourself because you want the following. You want people to like you. You want the validation. And that's not what God's children aren't here for that. No. God is using us so he can collect souls for him, so he can get the glory, so we can lead people unto him, not ourselves. But to preach the message of what he has done, collecting a following for him. And I don't need a lot. I don't gotta be perfect. And he didn't send me to do it with a lot of fancy stuff. He didn't send me to show I got the best car, the best house, to the biggest this, the biggest that. No, God's children are really going through the ringer. When you give God your yes, you're going to lose you. You're going to lose the things that you thought you wanted. You're going to lose the things that, oh, dang, the people, the places. You're just gonna lose it all. But let God take you through that. God is breaking you down. You know how when a building is built and there's like it's been abandoned, and when people buy it and God buys you, Jesus, God buys you over, and how they gotta tear it down because see, it's been sitting for so long. The foundation isn't even right. The foundation wasn't even off God when we started certain things. The business, the relationships, we wasn't even in our right mind. We were still working out of trauma and brokenness, but yet that foundation had to be broken down. God is breaking us to rebuild us so you can know his foundation, so you won't lose your way. This is why when it come down to following people, listen, I am not a follower. I'm not following certain people, but what I will do, because out of the respect, people don't follow people on TikTok for whatever reason, because they feel like their algorithm is going to be messed up. I follow people out of respect because I respect the fact that you followed me. You didn't have to, but yet you don't never know what somebody is going to need either. When so many people are so focused on them that, I'm not following this because they said this. I'm trying to, y'all so focused on the trends. No, I follow y'all out of respect, and I want y'all to meet God. I'm not here for y'all to meet me. God gets the glory. I do not need anything. I just want to be used by God. And it's not going to be done perfect. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't know a lot. I don't have even understanding with certain things. I'm just obedient to God, and I want y'all to see what that looks like. And it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes along the way. I'm willing to say I'm sorry. I'm willing to hold myself accountable for things. And this is why I love my private seasons when God said go private. Because you can lose your way walking with God, because if your eyes on everything else and what the world is saying, then people get so caught up, and instead of staying in their lane and their purpose, they miss out. And that's one thing that I don't like. So stop focusing on everything else and focus on what God tells you, because it don't have to be perfect. You don't have all the fancy stuff like everybody else. Worry about you and what God is calling you to be, and don't lose sight of God, because God can stop using you. And I don't want God to stop using me. So what about you? So focus on the messages and say what God has done, but keep certain things private, because as God is teaching you and breaking you down as when you've been abandoned, you've been out there in your own way. And it's going to tie into the next verses that I'm about to say. So down here it says 26-31. Take a good look, friends, at who you were when you got called into this life. I don't see many of the brightest and the best among you. Not many influential, not many from high society for families. Isn't it obvious that God deliberately chose men and women that the culture overlooks and exploits and abuses? Choose these nobodies to expose the hollow pretensions of the somebodies. That makes it quite clear that none of you can get by with blowing your own horn before God. Everything that we have, right thinking and right living, a clean slate and a fresh start, comes from God by the way of Jesus Christ. That's why we have the saying, if you're going to blow a horn, blow a trumpet for God. God gets the glory in my life. Nobody else can take the credit for anything. I didn't have it. That's why I love my life in a way that is but God. Because some of us, you got to be lonely for a while because I want God to get the glory. Everything that I have right now is but God. And I love the way that he takes care of me. Because when I can't take care of myself, when I get in my lonely moments, when I get in a place where like, God, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm really tired. I need help. The way that he refreshes me, I need God. And I want y'all to understand that you're going to get tired. You're going to be like, God, why did you use me? Like, why are you picking me? Like, I'm going through so much. And I love the way that he embraces, he loves. I love the way that God just comes through and he keeps his word on what he says. Yes, I'm using you. They overlooked you, but I see you. Yes, you're going through a lot. The bad things may happen, but yet you still the one that I chose. Like, you're the one. You're nobody to the world, but you're somebody to me. That you're not just being left out here cold. See, I could use you because see, you're humble, you're kind, you have a good heart through everything that you've been through. Like, I'm going to show people by using you, and God uses you to show people that, hey, you lost your way, by how humble somebody can be, by having a good heart, by all the trials and tribulations. So many people start rising up, and they lose their way because they start focusing on what the world is doing and how to keep up in competition. And this is why I say stay in your lane, because when you have a passion for something, you got a passion for walking with God, don't focus on everybody else's lane, because what you got a passion for, you can eventually hate when people start forcing you to do things. You can start losing your way when the wrong people get their hands on you. So be mindful of those that want to touch you and see your gifts. Be mindful, because God gets the glory. So many people can't become who they need to be and being suffocated because they're being silenced by teachers and leaders that will tell them to hush because they don't have the right saying, they don't have the right covering of the shepherd, but they don't know what you have. Don't speak or something of what you don't know. When God is trying to make people great, there are too many people telling people to be quiet because of their ego, their jealousy, and their envy. Stay focused on God, because yeah, we are nobodies. God can use me though. Some people are limited on how God can use them. God can still be using people, but they're limited. And God will use you to show people like you've lost your way. He will start using you. He will start using you because see, God can flow through you fully. And there's no limitations on God. You're going through everything. You're taking the persecution. And then it's just like, I'm going to use you in places to show people that this is what God really truly looks like. And I want that fully for all of us. I want that fully for all of us. So don't lose your sight of what's going on in the world. And I remember where I was when God got me. I wasn't perfect. I was still in lust. I was still in shame. I was still in guilt. Like, I was harboring a lot, and I know what was in my heart. So to see this version that I am, calm, loving, and accepting things for what it is, I like this version, and I want to stay this version because I know that I can change and I can go back if I don't continue to give myself to God. God has been there for me through it all, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that. I don't want nobody else losing that. I don't want you to lose sight of your way, because when you get blessed, that the blessings start overtaking you. No, I need God in everything, in all things. We're not the best. You don't have to be the best when you start. Be messy. Do it scared. God, if you trust me, I'm going to do it. Like, if they don't receive me, oh, well, God, but I'm going to be obedient. And sometimes I've been disobedient. And I'm okay with saying that because I felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't qualified. But then God had to continue to work on me. You got to give God you in the midst of everything. God deliberately chose us because there are so many leaders and people that got stuck in their ways and got prideful and think they're better than anybody and not willing to help nobody, but they love putting people in their place. God's saying, I'm choosing you because you're going to expose their hearts and show them who it really is. And they either going to keep being who they are, or they're going to be like, dang, like, you know what, I'm going to check me. But don't stop being you and who God is calling you to be.